Hello everyone, welcome to the Northern Channel. My name is James Juhasz and I'm a full-time athlete sailing in the laser class. Today I'm going to be walking you through how to do a hiking bench workout. Here you can see we have my hiking bench, which Chris Houston taught you how to make in the last video. If we go up here, you'll see I've wrapped my ratchet strap around my hiking bench a couple of times so that I can get a little bit of extra width on it. If I go back here, I have a towel so that it's comfy because I'm not going to be wearing power pads during the workout. And finally, at the back here, we have two little blocks. You can use a broomstick handle or little pieces of wood left over from making your hiking bench, or anything as long as it lifts the back of the bench up a little bit. So the reason that we have these blocks underneath the back of the bench is so that we can tell if we're putting enough force into the deck. So if we go, you're going to want to put your blocks under your hiking bench so that if you're hiking off of your toes, so about there, and at shoulders about 45 degrees, the bottom of the bench lifts up. See, if I go like this, it goes down, and if I go to 45, it comes up. We call this position 70%. So the two main muscle groups that we use when we're working on the hiking bench, or we focus on, is first mainly the quads. That's the powerhouse. And then secondly, we use the lower abs. So we're gonna be going back and forth in this workout between focusing on really working our quads and sometimes focusing on really working our abs. So if we're really far off of our toes, that's good because we can get our butt further out, as far as possible, and our butt weighs the most. When we're really far out on our toes like this, it really targets our quads. So our quads are focusing right now on pushing our kneecaps into the deck as hard as possible. So against the hiking strap and into the deck. When we lean our shoulders back, this still has the quads engaged, slightly more, but now is also bringing the abs into the mix. So the further we lean our shoulders back, the more our abs are engaged. Our quads are what's going to be engaged all the time, so you always want to have your quads fully engaged. And your abs are what's engaged when you really want to put the power down. That's because our quads are a bigger muscle, and so we want to be using them more of the time, whereas our abs are a smaller muscle, and we're only using them when we really need to. So the only thing beside your hiking bench that you're going to need for this is a stopwatch and maybe some headphones so you can listen to music. The stopwatch is going to be really important because all of the workouts that we do on the hiking bench are to time. The workout that we're going to be doing today is 1 minute and 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, then 1 minute on, then 30 seconds off, and then 30 seconds on, and then 2 minutes off. The kicker though is that the last 30 seconds of each of those stints is going to be at 100%. So that means that for every rep that we do of the circuit, your last set is going to be full out. We all know hiking is hard on the water, but without any distractions on land, hiking can be even harder. So we need to have music, or you can have your laptop in front of you with some TV shows or some YouTube videos, or really anything to distract you from the pain that you're enduring. If you're looking for something to do during one of your 2-minute breaks, you could go to james.juhasz on Instagram and follow along with my campaign. If you click the link in the description, you can sign up for my newsletter update and get my monthly newsletter, or you could go to my website, jamesjuhasz.com, and there's plenty of information on there for you to follow along with my campaign if you're interested. Here we go. That was hard. So I just did four sets of those. That totaled 22 minutes. So of that 22 minutes, I think 12 minutes of that was actual hiking. But it's important to remember that on the hiking bench, hiking is actually a lot harder than it is when you're sailing, because when you're sailing, you have the weight of the main sheet to hold you up. So if it's tricky at first and you feel like you're not getting as far as you do in the laser, or in the actual boat, then just remember then that it's actually quite a bit harder in the hiking bench. It's supposed to feel easy when you go back to the laser. So with that in mind, I'm just going to take you over a couple more technique things that you need to keep in mind while you're doing the hiking bench. So the most important thing to remember, because as you get more tired, your form will fade towards the end of your workout. Most important thing to remember is to make sure that you're always as far out on your toes as possible and drawing a straight line from the hiking strap through to your hips. And a good way to know if you're doing that is to see if there's a gap underneath your kneecaps. If there's a gap like that, that means you're not pushing with your knees hard enough. You need to be flat and have a straight line going all the way through. While you're working out, if you start to feel pain around your knee, do not push through the pain. That is the worst thing you can do. You should feel soreness in your legs, but not pain around your knee. If you have pain in your knee, that means that you've strained one of the tendons here and you need to let it rest for a couple of days. What you do, if you start to feel that, to finish your workout, bring the hiking strap a little further up on your feet, and this will take some pressure off of your knee and move it into more of your legs area, and you can finish your workout like that. But generally, you should be as far out onto your toes as possible. When you finish your workout, the most important thing that you need to do is to stretch out. Do some just standard hip flexor stretches. Especially after a workout like that, your hip flexors are going to be extremely tight. So you need to raise your arm in the air and have your knee down, and you should feel the stretch through your hip flexor. If you don't do this after your workouts, you'll feel a lot of pain in your lower back the next day, because these muscles here that come around and go into your lower back, and so when they're tight, your lower back gets really tight. You need to make sure to stretch out your hip flexors after working out. Thanks for stopping by. This has been James Juhasz with the Northern Channel. If you want to check me out, you can go to Instagram at james.juhasz, or you can go to my website, jamesjuhasz.com. I hope to see you guys all on the water soon.